called the Delta Math RTI program. Delta Math has that quick change for students who need additional support.
We were looking for something that would help us to understand what the needs were of our students. And the Delta Math helps us to pinpoint and identify what those skill areas are that are missing.
Teachers are always looking to take those kids that struggle, take those kids that get frustrated. Mathematics always seems to be one of those kind of core issues with a lot of kids. So take that and somehow try to find an efficient way to look at how can we identify those kids sooner, how can we stay on top of what we're doing to help those kids.
The program helps us stick with an intervention model. What we do is assess the students on the skills, and then we look at the assessment data and we ask ourselves, how did the students do? What groups do they need to be in? And then we strategically place them in the group that will be working on a specific skill.
We try to get that information early enough in the school year so that before students start to hit a brick wall, we have the opportunity to get them in small group situations so that before that difficulty becomes a barrier to new learning, they're able to fill that gap and help students be more prepared to learn.
Migrant children have many areas of concern. If you are a child who is moving, multiple times in a school year, you are missing pieces of instruction in each one of those places. If we didn't have Delta Math, we wouldn't be able to figure out what the missing skills were for our students as quickly, and we wouldn't necessarily have the ability to teach that skill and figure out what that missing skill was in the same day. The Delta Math is pretty easy because it's online and because we get the results right away.
It's instant feedback. So you can look at what your classroom did. When that screening session's done, you look at your reports and you can start working with kids on a particular standard as soon as you want.
We really like having some of these fundamental math concepts focused on and highlighted so that we can work with students that are struggling on some of these things very early on before they get to middle school and high school where math becomes a challenge.
After screening, after identification, students are introduced to the learning target that they struggled with. They document their learning on a growth chart, and then the teacher is able to use that information to figure out if the student needs more instruction tomorrow or just a little bit more independent practice to solidify the skill that they were working on today.
We use it building-wide. We share the information across the grades to show our teachers how that the progressive standards move from one grade level to a next. It's very focused. Your standards are going to progress as the students progress. The immediate results that you can obtain, you can't get anywhere else.
So it's really neat to see tens of thousands of kids out there using the program and then having, different people from wherever it is across the state send me an email just saying we're seeing a lot of progress and they're noticing differences.
The group I had the last couple years, we worked really hard. We used the Delta Math time, small group work, using the computer, doing games, doing worksheet, just doing facts. And we saw 95% of our kids passing the screener by the time we were done at that grade level. That's huge.
Delta Math has helped us have the conversations as educators that we should be having, and we're seeing the success in students.
If you believe all kids can learn and you give them a clear understanding of what we want them to learn and how we're going to make it make sense for them, then they can meet any goal that they want. And that's exactly what I see now at a much bigger level with Delta Math.